Hi, I'm Warwick Long. I'm a therapist at the Clinique Santé Guindon, where I use two approaches specifically with the patients that come in here. The first approach is the method Feldenkrais, which is an approach of learning and relearning fundamental movements that help us with injuries and recovering lost movement patterns. And the second approach is osteopathy. Today I'm going to talk about the method Feldenkrais and do some demonstration of movement to show how that this work can be beneficial for people recovering from injury or for people wanting to regain lost movement patterns. Among the many reasons for consultation when people arrive at the clinic, we often find that people have neck pain or shoulder pain, and this sometimes is due to trauma, but also it can be an accumulation of tension that has existed or developed over a period of time. It may have been from an original injury, or it could be to adverse or difficult work conditions. Today we're going to talk about how this approach of the method Feldenkrais could be useful in this situation. For example, sometimes we find that movement of the head and neck can be very limited. Sometimes this could be because of an injury, or as I said also, it could be because we're just moving like this all the time and we haven't considered that the rest of our body could be involved in the movement. For example, if I take a simple exercise, we can, in this situation, see how it can be applied here. If I'm lying on my side and I lift my head here, it's very difficult for the muscles of the neck. The head is very heavy. If I use my hand, I can lift my head using my arm, and my thorax and my shoulders are involved. So it's the same movement in a way, but there's more of myself participating. I could also use my pelvis as another way of mobilizing the lower part of my spine by lifting my legs into the air. I can put the two together, and I can use my whole spine to lift my head from my pelvis through to my thorax, through to my neck. If I use my whole spine now to lift my head, we get this result, which uses 32 vertebrae instead of 7. If I'm just using 7 vertebrae, I have this result. So if we look at how the movement I just did on the floor could translate to standing, it may be in a situation such as turning my head to look. If I'm just using my neck like this, it's sure that I'm going to find a lot of tension here and here. However, if I can use my rib cage, I have more mobility. If I'm looking up and down and I'm just using my neck, it's very difficult. If I use my rib cage, I have more mobility. If I stand side on, you can see the difference. So with the exercise that we demonstrated on the floor, we can also see how if I'm in a work condition where I'm at a keyboard and my shoulders are locked and my torso is locked, then when I turn my head, there's not a lot of movement in my thorax. However, I can also use my thorax to take the stress out of my neck. So if I can have a hand on the mouse, or a hand on the mouse if I'm left-handed, I can still move my thorax as I need to get things, as I need to point at the screen, as I need to type, rather than just moving my head like this, which will of course eventually create tension here, and give me neck problems.